What's up YouTube? It's your girl AK and we are back with a market analysis. I haven't seen y'all last week. I miss y'all a lot, like I really do. Crazy work hours, like 12 hour, 15 hour. Yeah, like it was just hard last week to post. I was working weekends. I don't ever work weekends. That's not normal. Usually I edit on weekends, I film on weekends. So yeah, it just threw my whole schedule off. But I'm back, right? Things are back to normal now, so everything's good, and I am giving y'all the market analysis. So I'm just going to talk about two different yen pairs, and then talk about gold, and then just kind of give you my overall idea about what I think the market is going to do. So let's get into it. Boom, we are back. Okay, so we are looking at USDJPY. I know y'all see this crazy drop. UJ, I actually miss UJ. We have been consolidating since the beginning of March, and we finally broke out of this ugly consolidation finally. So I'm actually gonna show you how I mark up my charts from like bear chart to like full marked up chart, because someone in my comments wanted to see like everything, and I was like, you know what, let's do that. So I have a clear chart. There's nothing on the charts. We're gonna mark it up from A to Z, right? So let's get into it. So usually when I'm marking up my charts, the first thing I do is I just want to get my bias first. So I start on the weekly time frame, and I just try to figure out, okay, what does the market look like on the weekly, like what direction? So let me go ahead and pull out my chart real quick. So this is my high time frame confirmation chart, right? We're just gonna go in and just mark out what we think it is. So here I'm looking at the weekly time frame, right? I'm trying to get adjusted like what's going on. So right here, I'm gonna jump to a line chart just to get a more clearer view of structure. So here is the line chart, right? Okay, so line chart looks like at one point we broke above these highs, right? Making structure bullish, right? Had a slight pullback, came back up, and then we started crashing to the downside. So the weekly currently is showing as bearish because we did have to shift the structure to the downside. So I'm gonna mark my weekly as bearish. All right, let's drop down to the daily time frame. Daily time frame, pretty similar story, right? So back to the line chart again. As you can see, we were kind of consolidating. We did end up breaking out of this level, so we ended up breaking it above, right? And making new highs, but then we end up breaking the structure and crashing back below. So the daily is also bearish here. Already I have two consecutive time frames going in the same direction, saying bearish. So overall my long-term bias for UJ as of right now is bearish, right? But let's keep going. Let's jump down to the 4 hour just to get that direction as well. So jump it down to a 4 hour, and as you can see, 4 hour we are still technically bearish. Let me show you guys. So right here, of course we had this breaker structure, like we broke structure here, right? Came down, broke structure, right? And we're still making lower lows, right? This candle body closed lower, and this candle body, if you see it right here, you can see it now. So currently right now the 4 hour is also bearish. So all time frames are saying bearish. The bias is to sell, right? The bias is to go with the overall trend. Now I can't just sell at the very bottom, right? I need price to give me some kind of pullback, some kind of retracement. So right here, if you actually pay attention to structure on UJ, right? We said that right here price we came up, right? And we actually ended up breaking below this low, like slightly. Again, to a line chart, you can see that we did end up making a new lower low. Now if price decides to break above this high, right, that would indeed shift our 4 hour time frame to bullish, right? We would no longer be bearish on the 4 hour. So I'm actually setting a alert right here to see when my 4 hour is going to shift bullish. And the reason for that is because when my 4 hours is bullish, I know that, okay, we're going back on this, you know, this pullback, this retracement, right? So kind of what I'm looking for, I'm gonna mark it out for you guys. I'm looking for price to come back to around this area over here, and I'm just marking up the body to the wicks, right? But I'm looking for price to come around this area, give me some kind of like retest, right? Some kind of correction to show me it doesn't want to go higher than this high, right? And then look for some kind of shift to head back and make new lows. So that's what I'm looking for overall, like overall time frame on the daily, right? So if I actually draw my fib tool from this swing high to this swing low, right, wick to wick, we can see that this area is just a little bit above the 61. So a pretty, you know, good like reversible area, highly reversible area right here. So kind of watching on the 4 hour to see if this 4 hour does end up shifting structure, right? Potentially start seeing higher highs, higher lows. Whenever price does get to this area, I do expect for price to have some kind of reaction and give me some kind of shift to the downside. Once I see that shift of structure where we're no longer making higher highs and that 4 hour switches back to making lower lows, that's why I'll be interested in taking long-term sales on UJ. So I'm kind of just waiting for this pullback so we can finish this overall move, take out this daily liquidity, and potentially even get to the 27 extension is what I'm looking for is what I'm looking for when it comes to UJ. Now, you technically, right, if the 4 hour was to shift bullish, right, so if price was to break above this, right, and we get the pullback, technically you can trade up the pullback, right? If you want to trade up to this level and get out around this level before sellers kick in, you could definitely do that. It is a little bit more risky, right? I don't recommend beginners trading pullbacks. I recommend beginners to follow the overall direction. However, if you understand how ranges work and you understand where the sellers are at in the market, then by all means, like, if you want to trade it up, trade it up. Again, just be cautious because this is going against the overall trend. Like, understand that if you are going to buy back this pullback, it's only to a certain point. Like, once you get around this level, you know, I definitely would want to get out. In fact, there's no guarantee that price is even going to give us the retest. Price could pull back to just a 50 and just sell, right? So we really don't know what price wants to do. That's why trading the pullback is a little risky, right? But if you're a little bit more experienced and you know what you're doing, you can definitely trade the 4 hour pullback. So essentially you would have to wait for this 4 hour to basically break structure, right? That would be our break of structure. And then you would have to wait for another pullback. And from here, you could draw like your other fib on the 4 hours. I'm gonna hide this for a second. And whenever price actually plays out, you could draw your other fib and then, you know, buy up to like maybe a certain point before getting out. So just ideas of what you want to do. Some people like to buy back the pullback. Some people just want to, you know, just wait for the pullback, and that's cool too. Whatever works for y'all. Me personally, I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm just kind of chilling. I'll let y'all know in my Telegram. If you're not following my Telegram, go ahead and join it right now. It's free. It's just a community where I send out my ideas, and then people can also join the chat and just talk and share ideas as well. So yeah, join that. So GJ is pretty similar, almost the same story. I'm not gonna spend too much time on GJ, so we're gonna break down GJ real quick, not too long. So for GJ, it's actually interesting. So we end up taking out this swing high right here, making our higher time frame bullish on the weekly, which is opposite from what it was on UJ, right? Daily time frame, we are currently in a bearish state. So again, end up breaking structure, but we end up having to break these lows to make this drop. So the daily time frame is technically bearish as of now. I'm wondering if this bearish daily is just a pullback on the weekly. That's what I'm wondering as of now, but I don't want to jump the gun. I just want to watch and see what price does and kind of just react from there, right? But as of right now, we have the weekly is bullish, the daily is bearish, right? And my 4 hour is also still bearish, right? So 4 hour time frame, you know, breaking structure, right? We broke structure, big drop. We're coming back to this level to drop some more. So 4 hour is also bearish. So same bias, looking to sell, right? Looking to sell. You would draw your swing high, swing low on the 4 hour. Last place price broke structure was around here. So we could potentially get a deep pullback because we did leave a lot of gaps with that drop. It was a crazy drop. It was very much fundamentally invoked, right? The Bank of Japan intervened with the currency and it caused the price to fall. So you're seeing an intervention of the Bank of Japan right here. That's what this drop is. We left a lot of gaps. Price can definitely have a super deep retracement. So I wouldn't be surprised if price does come all the way up here before, you know, shifting. So I am watching potentially GJ as well. Whatever gives me the best setup between UJ and GJ, you know, whatever gives me the best risk to reward ratio, I'm gonna look to take. At some point, I will end up jumping to a lower time frame, like maybe the 30-minute, to kind of see that shift of structure, right? I want to see price eventually shift from bullish to bearish, right? And that's how I'm gonna know it's time to get in for sale. So just gonna be watching GJ. Gonna be setting alerts on my fib levels as well as my area interest to see what price wants to do, and yeah, we'll just wait for that, and I will update y'all in the Telegram. Okay, so gold has been pretty interesting, right? Saw some big sell-offs, also saw some buying opportunities last week, but I'm just gonna give y'all the overall rundown of everything. So we're gonna start on the weekly. I marked it as bearish because we did end up breaking structure, right? And I'm just looking to see if we're looking to potentially make a newer, you know, weekly low. So as of right now, the weekly is bearish as of now. Daily time frame, we are still bearish. Let me show you why. I'm gonna jump to a line chart so y'all can see it. So right here, there was a point where we did shift bullish. So right here, price had a bullish shift to structure, right? And we were making higher highs at one point. We were pushing up. But then right here, you notice we failed to make that new high, and then we ended up breaking structure, making our daily bearish again. So the daily time frame is currently bearish as well. Now the 4 hour actually shifted bullish recently. So, and I actually called this out last week. We actually were buying this pullback on the daily. So just to kind of give y'all like an idea of like what I'm talking about. For one, 4 hours bullish, right? We were making lower lows, lower highs, and then what happened? We broke this high. And then what else happened? We failed to make a new low and we made a new high. So my 4 hour is currently bullish right now. Now the reason I called out this trade last week on my Telegram, shout out if y'all caught it. Basically I understand that this 4 hour like bullish structure is just a pullback on the daily. So I'm like, hey, this is a temporary buy on the daily, right? I understand that on the daily time frame. If you look here, this is the area where we last broke structure. If you look on the weekly, you can see right here, we broke structure right here, so you can really mark it out you want to. So like around here is where we have like potential sellers sitting right here, right? Sellers looking to potentially take the market even further after that retest. So around this point on the 4 hour, I saw that we had this break of structure, right? And I saw that price, we had a pullback, and I understood that we were just retesting, you know, this level that was broken, right? And I understood that, you know, if we don't check out this low, what we're gonna do? We're gonna make a new high. So I understood that like right here, this liquidity was a valid target for a TP. So I made basically this level as a TP1, this liquidity level right here. And we did take out TP1 last week on Friday, right? And TP2 is the 27 extension. Now, there is a little risk of holding to the 27 because we do have sellers sitting right here. So some people may still be holding the trade from last week and they may be looking to get taken out right here. It's really honestly up to y'all. I think the first TP was enough, honestly, just because of like this is kind of trend, right? And I'm not looking to buy anything back up now because we are already like at this level. Like this is the level where I expect to see the sellers. So I'm actually waiting to see price have a 4 hour shift. So the 4 hour may have one more push up, right? But at some point I want to see this 4 hour have some kind of shift to the downside, and that's gonna let me know we're ready for the overall move. So when I go to the daily, I can say, okay, here's my swing high, here's my swing low, right? I understand that we can make it to daily liquidity and even lower, right? We can make it even lower low. So I'm just waiting to see what price wants to do. So I'm gonna set an alert on this area of interest right here, and just also set alerts on just structure. I want to watch structure on the 4 hours to kind of see what the 4 hour time frame wants to do, and then from there I'll understand, you know, hey, it's time to, you know, sell. Now if price actually ends up breaking above these levels, like let's say price just pushes through and we actually end up taking out this daily swing high, well, that would then shift my daily to bullish. And if my daily is bullish and my 4 hours bullish, those are two consecutive time frames, I understand, hey, we're looking to buy, right? So I'm just watching to see, right? I'm gonna have alerts at this swing high level just to make sure, hey, we're looking to shift up. If not, then I'm looking to, you know, take it down. So I'm just watching to see what price does in the 4 hour, looking for the shift of structure to go back to bearish. And yeah, that's gonna be my entry. So yeah, that's pretty much my analysis on the yen pair and gold. I'm kind of just waiting on these pullbacks, you know, trying to be patient, let the market show me what it wants to do. It is the first, well, it's not the first anymore. It is May, right? Brand new month, and I just want to wish y'all, you know, a great, successful trading month. I hope y'all do well. I hope y'all do amazing. Y'all are some amazing traders. Like I see y'all every day, like call out amazing trades in the group. Again, like if you want a community, like it's there for you guys. Check out the Telegram. It's pretty cool. But yeah, super cool talking to y'all. I miss y'all. Hope y'all have a great and amazing week. Until next time. Bye.